Good morning. Welcome to 49ers in 5, your daily update on everything happening with the team that you need to know. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. Today is Wednesday, July 24th, 2024. Here's what's happening with your San Francisco 49ers. We'll get to what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch had to say about the Brandon Aiyuk situation in a minute. But first, let's update a couple of injuries as training camp begins. Rookie first-round pick Ricky Pearsall is going to start camp on the NFL non-football injury list because he hurt his hamstring away from the team. Lynch and Shanahan said he's going to miss the first block of training camp at least. That's about 4 practices, and then they'll reevaluate, and hopefully he can join in block 2. Talanoa Hufanga, Dre Greenlaw, and Drake Jackson will all start camp on the PUP list, physically unable to perform. They are recovering from various injuries. George Kittle, Charvarius Ward, and Jake Brendel all cleared to practice in some good news after missing the offseason program recovering from surgery. Kittle actually lost 30 pounds because he wasn't able to work out, and he's had to regain all of that to get back to his playing weight of about 240 to 243 pounds, which he said he has done. Kyle Shanahan mentioned they're going to be smart with all these guys and work them back in slowly as camp progresses. Now, as you might imagine, Lynch and Shanahan met the media. They were asked about the Brandon Aiyuk situation.
We've had great communication. We started this really early. We made it a priority to try to get done. We've had excellent communication throughout. Really don't want to characterize. We haven't been able to, and that's a shame. But Brandon's a big part of our team, and we expect that he will be this year.
That sounds like a lot of what we have heard before from John Lynch. But last year, I remember you told us there was absolutely no way you were going to trade Nick Bosa. So right now, are you willing to say there is absolutely no way you are going to trade Brandon Aiyuk?
I did say that with Bosa, and I felt that way. But, I think, again, no absolutes there. We fully intend on Brandon being a Niner moving forward. We're always open to listen to things. But like I said, we expect Brandon to be an integral part of our team like he has been, and excited about that.
If I were another team's general manager and I heard that comment about Brandon Aiyuk, I would be picking up the phone and calling John Lynch before the end of the press conference to see if I could possibly work out a trade. George Kittle also met the media yesterday, and he was asked if he had given any advice to Brandon Aiyuk about negotiating with the 49ers.
Something that I like to tell anybody going through a contract is same thing that Richard Sherman told me was like contracts are like braces. They suck the entire time, and then once you get them off, you forget that you ever had them. But this time, in a case of a contract, you get a big bag of money. So it's just like, that's what I just try to tell him. It's like it's a horrible process. Like I hated the entire process when I was going through it. Bosa's last year was awful. He didn't get it done till the first week of the season. So it's like it's not fun. But when it gets done, or hopefully when it gets done, you're gonna be like, hey, I got to play football now with my job security and like my livelihood all secured.
BA has said he is taking these negotiations personally, so maybe it won't be forgive and forget once the contract comes in. Everybody's different. Those other guys were able to let it go. We'll see if that happens. And of course, we need a new contract before we can begin to approach the concept of forgiveness. We always give you one thing to read, one thing to watch, and one thing you might have missed. One thing to read on this Wednesday: defensive coordinator Bill Belichick? Kyle Shanahan was a guest on the TK Show podcast with Tim Kawakami of The Athletic, and Kyle said he approached Bill Belichick about joining the 49ers coaching staff this offseason. If you want to read all the details, they were on NBC Sports Bay Area. You can click the link in the description of this episode. One thing to watch: Brock Purdy is apparently amazing. Brett Coleman is one host of the Bootleg Football podcast, and Coleman said recently that Brock Purdy was still rehabbing his elbow injury up until Thanksgiving of last season. Yes, that's right. Up through Thanksgiving. If you want to watch the full clip, again, click the link in the description of this episode. One thing you may have missed, Nick Bosa versus Steph Sanchez.
If you had a chance to meet Steph 49K, the Instagram influencer that kind of mimics you, and what do you think of the impressions?
I haven't met her. They're good, I guess. They kind of annoyed me in the beginning, but I'm over it. So I guess they're good.
What do you mean they're okay? They are awesome, Nick Bosa. And you are the only one that doesn't appreciate them. And you should, because they're great. And by the way, if you think she's not going to do more, you are sorely, sorely mistaken. That's a wrap on today's 49ers in 5. Please rate, review, and follow the Gold Standard Podcast Network wherever you get your audio pods. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. If you click the bell, you'll get notified every single time we go live, which is every single weekday for you. Enjoy your Wednesday, everybody. I'm Rob Stats Guerrera. We'll talk later today.